Hi, it's me, Tracy, your literary companion, and welcome to my September reading wrap-up. This month I made journeys through the realms of fiction, poetry, nonfiction, and I'll be sharing all the highlights from the best reading. If you're curious about the books that shaped my life this month, please grab your cozy cuppa. And let's begin. And I am looking forward to hearing all about your reading too. This month in fiction, I'm starting with my Japanese cultural studies related reading, and I have this fiction work, Kokoro by Natsume Soseki, published in 1914. This is a story about friendship, loneliness, and the struggles of living in a rapidly changing Japan during the Meiji period. And this follows a young man who looks up to a mysterious older figure simply known as sensei, which can translate as teacher. While sensei seems wise, he is also haunted by guilt and a deep sadness from his past. As our young protagonist grows closer to him, sensei eventually shares about his painful story, revealing the betrayals and regrets that shaped much of his life. Throughout this relationship, Kokoro reflects on the tensions between tradition and modernity, as well as personal desire and moral duty, and not least the inner struggles of the heart, which is the very essence of Kokoro itself. This is a sad story, but is also very well done. I really enjoyed this well-noted literary Japanese classic. And one more Japanese classic, The Pillow Book by Shonagon, who was a noblewoman, a lady-in-waiting at the Heian court, the 10th and 11th century Japan. This book is a collection of her musings. It almost reads like a diary. There's a great blend of wit and charm, humor, and the aesthetic sensitivity of the time period, and not least being a very sharp social commentary on the Heian time period as well. It offers a vivid glimpse into the courtly life and its refined sensibilities. Yet another great Japanese literature classic. I really enjoyed this one. And in keeping with the classics, my Regency reading for this month of September was Belinda by Maria Edgeworth. This was published in 1810, and the novel follows Belinda Portman, a young woman, as she navigates London society, balancing reason with sensibility while choosing between the shallow fortune-seeking men and true love as she finds a future husband. During her stay with a Lady Delacour, who is a witty, charming, worldly aristocrat, Belinda witnesses the dangers of extravagance, vanity, and scandal. The story reflects on the beautiful themes of female friendship, as well as personal growth and independence, searching for genuine happiness in life. At its heart, it is both a moral tale and a satire on high society, and not least the complexities of relationship, marriage in particular, during the 19th century. This story is often seen as Edgeworth's response to contemporary debates and discussions about women's roles, marriage, and women's independence. I have to admit that until I began my Jane Austen Regency reading project year, I was only vaguely aware of Maria Edgeworth. I had not read anything by her before. She is sometimes called the Irish Jane Austen, though she was a decade older than Austen and lived considerably longer than her, too. She has written quite a great many works, and including works for children as well. Maria Edgeworth was a great champion of the right to education as well as happiness for women in a time when the importance of a woman, her being an individual, was very much on the sidelines. Maria Edgeworth believed that women should, and I quote her, only marry someone who suits her character, temperament, and understanding. And I wholeheartedly agree. And now for some fun, a little bit more fun reading, The Convenience Store by the Sea by Sonoko Machida. It's a set of stories with interconnecting characters set within a small seaside town in Japan. And the setting is actually a 24/7 convenience store called Tenderness, which is run by a rather strange but charismatic manager. But Tenderness is more than just a place to buy snacks, to buy food. It really functions like a community gathering point where warmth, empathy, and food tie the town together, a place where there is comfort, connection, and purpose. Through everyday encounters, it shows how simple acts of kindness can heal loneliness and inspire new beginnings. It is a really warm, funny, and quirky tale, just a really sweet read. I can really recommend The Convenience Store by the Sea for some really beautiful reading. During September, I had the great joy of reading the poetry collection Evensong by the Scottish poet Kenneth Stephen, who is also a novelist and a writer of children's books, as well as a landscape painter too. He's a man of many talents. I love his work so much. His written work especially weaves very richly a love of his home in the Scottish Highlands and Celtic spirituality, especially Celtic Christian spirituality. I love how he weaves the nature and reveals the divine in the ordinary and the familiar, things that we love, and how sometimes we find the light in the darkness in this world we love so much. Let me read for you a poem from the collection Evensong. Let me find my page. This poem is entitled Once Upon a Time. Once upon a time. The house asleep like a blue ship under the water. The moon piercing the skylight window. I patted down, bare feet, trying not to creak the stairs, out under the jewelry of the stars. The hushed bark of a dog, the last pears fallen from the tree in red gold slush. The moon cast over the garden such a bright shadow I could have wandered for miles and miles. And that was what I longed for, to lose myself in the story of the forest. Come out in the magical tale written by wolves and snow. Evensong by Kenneth Stephen. I can highly recommend this collection if you are a lover of poetry. And now for some nonfiction, and this was part of my Japanese cultural studies for September. Japanisme by Erin, Niimi, Longhurst. This beautiful little book is a guide for living a more fulfilled and happier life through Japanese traditions and philosophies. Things like art, calligraphy, food, tea ceremony, forest bathing, and so much, much more to enrich our everyday life. I borrowed this from the library and was unsure what to expect since this was such a small book, but it is so big in so many ways. It offers so much. I would actually love to have a copy of this book. to have on the shelf to reverently take down and read a passage and reflect on it, taking it out into my everyday life and engage with the wisdom presented in these pages. I would say that this is a lovely but also impactful introduction to key themes that are woven into the Japanese culture. Next, I would like to share We Tell Ourselves Stories in Order to Live by Joan Didion, who was an American writer and journalist known for her very sharp and precise prose, as well as her ability to capture the anxieties and disconnections in American life. Her work spans novels, memoirs, essays, screenplays, where she pioneered a very personal style of writing that is often associated with something called New Journalism, which was a style of reporting considered very unconventional in the time of the 1960s and 70s in America, which was a bit more subjective personal expression in nonfiction, where the writer or the reporter's own view was often not taken into account, but she kind of pioneered this way of writing, as well as uncovering the disintegration in the culture in America. She has a way of writing that is very cool and sharp in style and tone, but very elegant too. I would say We Tell Ourselves Stories in Order to Live is just really powerful. It collects 7 of her nonfiction works in one place, kind of a roundup of life and culture in America from the 1960s through the 1990s. Her most influential work, blending really sharp, nuanced reportage with personal reflection, essays on politics, culture, memory. She examines how the art of narrative shapes both the individual identity and the collective truth. A special read during the month of September was The Letters of Emily Dickinson, edited by Cristanne Miller and Domnhall Mitchell. This was released last year, and I had been waiting a long time to get my hands on this book through the library, and it did not disappoint. This is now considered the definitive collection of the much-loved poet Emily Dickinson's correspondence. This is the first expanded and revised presentation of letters in over 60 years. The collection presents over 1,000 of Dickinson's extant letters, as well as a small gathering of letters from her correspondence. There are not many of those. The editors have really done a great job in filling in the gaps of historical information related to Dickinson and her time period within relationships to her local setting as well as national events, which I feel like they created an even clearer picture of Dickinson, who is often portrayed as very enigmatic. And certainly we will never know everything about her, but between the poems and this wonderful book of collected letters, we see the many faces of Dickinson, the reader, the thinker, the social commentator, humorist, entertainer even, daughter, sister, friend, and neighbor. We get so much more of the legend of Emily Dickinson and more in this book. This is a must for Emily fans. Usually part of my monthly reading wrap-ups, I include manga that I have been reading during the month. And this time I was trying something a little bit different and created a separate video, Manga This Month, which I'm hoping might turn into a new series, maybe for those who are interested in manga. I will leave the link for that video in the description box below. I also shared recently another manga video where I was talking about the many positive benefits of reading manga as we age for our brain health and our overall happiness. I will leave the link in the description box for that video as well, and I hope you'll look more into manga. It's a great genre. Looking ahead, in October, my Jane Austen Regency reading selection will be Northanger Abbey, which I am really looking forward to that one because I have not revisited that one in some time. And a bit of doubling up on Regency reading, I will also be reading Mary Shelley's Frankenstein for the first time. Somehow I haven't gotten around to that one, and that will be a buddy read, so I'm really excited about that one as well. At the beginning of October, TJ and I will be traveling to the States to visit my family. Finally, we are getting to go. And so this will be my last episode this month. And until I get back and over the jet lag, while we're away, I hope to be having a couple of bookish adventures, which I hope to be able to share with you when we return. I am excited about some offerings that I will be sharing here during the autumn months ahead, and I will share more about that later. I likely won't be able to publish very much while we are away, probably not even anything in the post community section, simply due to time. And so I hope that you will be sharing with me how your month of September was and what you have been reading. I appreciate so much our conversations here. I hope that all of you are well. I am just very thankful for you being here and thankful for your continued support. And so until next time, as always, I wish you much love and many blessings. I will see you again here very soon.